Hi, my name is Jiya Singh.
I'm Sagnik and Chowdhury.
And you're watching the
Cafeteria Crackdown.
So today we will be reviewing different lunch foods from the cafeteria based on a 3-part criteria.
The first part is we'll be reviewing it on taste, and then presentation, and then texture.
So let's get started. Okay. So the first food we have right here is the pizza from the lunch line, which both of us will be trying. So here we have a pepperoni pizza.
We have a cheese pizza.
So let's dive in. Actually, it was so good I already took a bite, which just proves the delicacy of the menu food. So let's do it at the same time.
All right,
why not? Okay. Ready?
3, 2,
2, 1, go.
Alright, so right off the bat, what I see for presentation, the cheese looks good. The crust has little black spots, but the biggest thing that sticks out to me, I can quite literally see the oil dripping off of the cheese. So this looks way too greasy to me. So for presentation, I will give this a 3 out of 5. But for taste, I will say, I have no complaints with it. I really enjoyed it. I think the cheese has like a good texture. It tastes good. It doesn't taste like rotten or anything bad like that. It goes well with the crust. It's not too hard, but not too soft. I think it's just the right consistency. For taste, I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5, and I will give this a 4 out of 5 for texture too.
So for me, I am in love with this dish, actually. So the presentation, I would give it, I agree, there is a bit too much grease on it, so usually I will take a napkin and dab it down so I can make myself really skinny and legendary by doing that. But today, since I didn't have the napkin, I ate it with the grease, and it definitely was evident that I gained a couple extra calories because of that. So I would say presentation-wise, I would give it a 3.5 out of 5. It's not too bad. But in terms of the taste, this is delicious. I did get the pepperoni one, so there's a little extra stuff that I might want to say. It's very crispy, which is amazing because the edges are crispy and then the insides are just the perfect cooked temperature. And I'm in love with the taste. It is, I think, my favorite menu item in the cafeteria. Like, I would pay to get this, and it's honestly an honor that we get it for free, I'd say. It's amazing. And then the texture, 5 out of 5. So overall, I would give this dish a 5 out of 5.
Alright, so should we jump into the next meal?
Let's jump in. So today we actually have a ethnic special.
Okay.
We have
special.
2 special items. I have what I believe is chicken tikka masala.
And I have the vegetarian alternative with tofu.
Yes.
So should we try at the same
let's
time?
do it at the same time.
Alright, 3, 2, 1. Oh, I think it looks good. I would have liked to see a little more tofu because I only saw 4 pieces, and I think the rice to gravy to tofu ratio is really off because it's just heavy on rice and not enough gravy to really mix in the flavors. So for presentation, I would have liked to see a little more of the gravy and tofu, so I'll give this a 3 out of 5 for presentation. But for taste, I think the gravy was actually cooked really well, and the tofu as well. I mean, tofu didn't really have much flavor, but along with the gravy and the rice, it goes really well. So for taste, I will give this a 4 out of 5. And for texture, the rice, I will admit, was a little harder than I would have liked to see. But I think the tofu had just the right consistency. It wasn't like too hard. I just bit into it, felt good. Everything goes well with if you have everything in one bite. I think it is a really good bite. So I think overall, I will give this a 4 out of 5. Okay.
Yeah, just looking at Sagnik's meal, I can see that there's a lot less tofu than there is the chicken here. So I would give the ratio from chicken to rice, honestly, a 5 out of 5. Actually, it looks like there's more chicken than rice, which is really interesting because you don't get that at restaurants even. So hats off to our cafeteria for doing that. I would actually honestly suggest more rice because it's throwing off the ratio just a tiny bit. But overall, I would give a 5 out of 5 on presentation. It looks really good. There's enough gravy so that it doesn't get hard with the chicken to rice. And based on taste, I would honestly give this a 5 out of 5. Like, it tastes really, really good. Obviously, it's not like restaurant or anything. It is our school lunch line. But in terms of that, I would love to eat this meal every day. The texture is pretty good, too. I do agree about the rice being a little hard, but because the chicken is soft and really easy to eat, it balances it out, and it creates the perfect consistency. So I would give this meal a 5 out of 5, and I think that we should be really proud for our ethnic representation.
I will say, I think these 2 meals together, I think these are both one of the most meals that I look forward to, every week.
Yeah. Hi everyone. Today we're back with another meal from the school lunch line. This one being a chicken rice bowl. So in terms of presentation, I would give it a 3 out of 5. It's not that bad. Actually, no, I give it a 2 out of 5 because while it looks appealing, it also looks slimy and gross at the same time. It doesn't look that bad. It's okay. It's a 3 out of 5. Okay, I would give this a 4 out of 5 on taste because it's not that bad. It's actually pretty good, and it has a good quantity of rice to, like the ratio of rice to chicken is pretty good. And I would say that the texture is a 3.5 out of 5. It's not the worst, it's not the best, it's a little slimy, but I do like how they have some vegetables in here, like the carrot and the onion, so it makes you feel a little bit healthier when you eat. So overall, I would give this meal a 3.5 out of 5 stars.
Alright, cool. Alright, moving on to our next meal from the lunch line. We have the vegetarian option, the vegetarian alternative, which is the tofu rice bowl. So right off the bat, what I see is this meal is already being dominated by the rice. Like you have, I can literally just count it right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces of tofu, and just a few vegetables here and there, like some carrots, some bell peppers. So I don't really see much here, and the tofu itself, there's like no color to it as compared to this one. So it already looks pretty bland. So for presentation, I'm gonna give this a 2 out of 5. But let's try it. So it's actually not as bad as I thought. When I looked, the tofu basically looked like it had no flavor. But when I bit into it, it actually did have some flavor. And I think there was also some sauce in the rice to help with that. So for taste, I'm actually gonna give this a 3 out of 5. And let's go again. I think for tofu, this is just the right consistency. It's not like hard, but it's not like too soft either. And I think the vegetables also, I think, are pretty well cooked. So the carrots have just that little bit of crunchiness in it. So for texture, I'm gonna give this actually a 4 out of 5. So in total, I think overall this meal, I will give it a 3.5 out of 5.
I'd also have to add that the sauce is actually very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could add a little bit more, but pretty good overall. So I think would you give it a 4 out of 5?
3.5.
3.5. All right, both meals are 3.5 out of 5.
Yeah.
All right, so overall, I think we'd say that my favorite food from this entire journey of our adventure would have been the chicken tikka masala and the pizza that we got from the lunch line.
I agree. The chicken tikka masala was absolutely extraordinary, and then the pepperoni pizza was also one of my favorites. And that concludes our culinary adventure. So
thank you guys so much for watching.
And we'll see you next time on
the
Cafeteria Crackdown.